Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young. Hello, SMD family. Welcome. I'm going to give everybody a chance to get on in here. How are you guys today? Welcome, everyone. Get on in here. Get on in here, everybody. Good morning, Quentin. Good morning. Hyphy, good morning. Everybody get on in here. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young, DTN Professional Cleaning. Hassan, welcome. Welcome. What's going on, SMD family? Get on in here. Welcome. Jalen, hello there. Hello. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I love that you guys listen to me at work, in the car, watching the channel. You know, I appreciate it. I really do. Sharif, hello. Best version, what's going on? Yes, let's hit that like button. Just like Hyvie said, let's hit that like button. Welcome, welcome. Get on in here. And I wanted to let you guys know, today's review video was brought to you by Hyphy. Hyphy brought this one to my attention. And I looked it over, and it looks like it's going to be a good one. All right. So get on in here. Jaws says he's having trouble. You guys can all hear me, I'm assuming, right? Everybody can hear me, right? What's up, NC Briggs? What's going on? I'll tell you what. Hey, just let me know. Let me know. I can send you the invoice. So you can go to the website at SavingsMinusDebt.com and click on products and buy it yourself, or I can just send you an invoice. Either way, it doesn't matter. Get on in here. If you're new to my channel, I welcome you. This channel will be unlike any other channel on YouTube, I promise you. When it comes to personal finances, unlike any other. How can I make such a claim? Easily. I believe in mathematics. That's it. Nothing crazy, nothing too outrageous. I believe in math. That's the only difference between the wealthy and the not wealthy. The wealthy believe in math, the non-wealthy don't. That's it. Oh, okay. Okay, NC. All right. What's up, Mark? What's up, All Around Strong? Welcome in here. Get on in here. What are we, 3 minutes in? Okay, we're going to get started for those of you that came on time. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. All right, this video, again, is brought to you by Hyphy. Hyphy brought this to my attention. Now, I wanted to say a couple of things before I started, all right? Now, I'm going to take this up to the next level, okay? And this is for the SMD family. I want everybody to know when they come to this channel, this is next level financial thinking, okay? I know it sounds like I'm saying something sophisticated, but it's not. I'm just saying the majority of people out there in finance just don't trust math, okay? Now, there are two economies. One's visible and one is invisible, but they're both hidden in plain sight. The one that is visible to most are the people that are in the debt matrix. The debt matrix can see this one particular economy, and then outside of that one is an invisible economy. This one controls that one, but this one also depends on that one, okay? But this one everybody cannot see. Here's where everybody lives that believes in mathematics, okay? That's the difference. And then once you start to believe in mathematics, you'll be able to see both. But right now, if you've been in debt all your life, you'll never see the invisible one. It's invisible to you. I know it doesn't make sense that both are hidden in plain sight, but once you get outside the debt matrix, you'll see it. Okay. Now, do this video. I'm only going to be speaking debt-free. I'm only going to be speaking at a higher level of debt-free. And if you don't understand debt-free, it's probably because you live in a debt matrix. And this is the only thing I want you to do. Follow my mathematics. Math and money are one. The only thing that can separate math from money are feelings. How you feel about what I'm saying is irrelevant. Follow the math. If the math makes sense, believe it because it's true. Okay. All right. Now, I want to make sure you guys understand that I'm not going to be, when I review these videos, it's not to talk bad about the person in the video, not to say he's lying or he's stupid or he's doing something illegal. I'm not saying any of that. Anything he's saying in this video, I'm assuming he believes that is true. That's otherwise he wouldn't have made this video, correct? Because that's how you got to think. Now, business wise, any other way, I don't know. But what I'm saying in this particular video, he actually probably believes what he's saying, or else he wouldn't made the video. So I'm not saying whatever he's saying is wrong. I'm saying he's speaking to the people in the debt matrix. Okay. He's telling the people in the debt matrix the truth. When you step outside the debt matrix, what he's saying doesn't make mathematical sense. And there's things that you can see and cannot see when you're in debt. Okay. All right. I'm reading off my note before I get in. Now, I want you to pay. I'm gonna define some things so you can understand what I'm saying, what I say in the video. Okay. Phantom income. Okay. Phantom income is only phantom to those whom are in debt. It's mathematically impossible for them to see it. That's why they can't see it. That's why it's phantom to them. Okay. And also, let me see that when you hear the average, okay, the average is made up of millions upon millions upon millions of people making the same financial decisions as one. Okay. So when you hear the average and you feel like you fit in there, like you have the average car payment, you have the average credit card payment, that's where you live. You were part of the average. Those of us that are outside the debt matrix, we're no longer part of that nonsense. We're not part of the average. Okay. So we don't go by the average because we don't make the same financial decisions as one. We're out of that. Okay. So for example, let me give you examples of how when you're outside the debt matrix, you no longer think about money individually, you think about money collectively, because none of this green piece of paper would work if all of us in the United States didn't agree. Okay. It wouldn't work. Okay. So collectively. All right. So if the average car payment is around $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. Okay. Damn, I almost lost it. That's $6,000 a year. Okay. So now if you don't have a car payment, you now make $6,000 more per year than the average. Okay. That's thinking collectively. Now, people in debt, you cannot see that, nor can you even comprehend that because you're in debt. It's mathematically impossible for you to see it. But if you just follow the math of what I said, you could see it. Like if two people lived in the same household, right, making the same amount of money, one had a car payment and one didn't, by the end of the year, the person with no car payment would have $6,000 more in his account than the person that does have a car payment. That's called phantom income. That is real. Okay. All right. Now, one last thing, remember this, okay? There's also a thing called phantom tax, and this is something I just made up, okay? Because it just makes sense. Phantom tax. Every time a person finances a car, so for the very reason why a person finances a car, because they don't have the money, okay? They don't have the money for the car. That's why they're financing the car. Now, think about this. It's always the car plus tax. So if you don't have the money for the car, you definitely don't have the money for the taxes either. You're financing the taxes too. That's double tax. One, you can see the car plus tax. Like if I walked on the car lot and bought a car, it'd be the price of the car plus tax. I give them the cash and I would leave. But if you're financing the car, you don't have the money for the car. So you're financing the taxes too. You're getting taxed twice and don't even know it. That's called phantom tax. That is real. Follow the math. All right. I just want to get that out there. Let's get on with this. Hello, Jennifer, Jaws. All right. Everybody can hear me okay, right? I'm assuming yes. All right, cool. All right, let me get to now it's time for the video, okay? Let me turn this off. 1 second here. All right, here we go. All right.
I'm officially back on the market. Not for a date, but for a new car. But that's for another day, another video. Today.
Now, if he does some stuff that's really irrelevant, I'm just going to fast forward it, okay? All right, irrelevant to this topic.
Today, we're talking about car loans and why, for many of you out there, as it is for me, is going to be the best option when you're looking to purchase a new car. Now, we've heard it all before. I've even touted it on the same channel. Don't carry debt for anything that doesn't bring you revenue. Well, today, I think I may have found an exception. But just as a forewarning, today what I'm about to share with you is considered more of an advanced everyday.
Now, before we get into this, remember this. Nobody gets a finance car on sale. Nobody. The only person that gets the sale price of a car is the person that pays cash for the car. Okay?
Budget strategy. So please use it carefully and just don't go out there and purchase a vehicle that's way above your financial means or carry a bunch of debt that you can't afford. However, the good thing with what I'm going to go over with you today can be applied to virtually any vehicle at almost any price point, especially new cars. And I never buy new cars. Stick around to the end. I'm going to show you how I'm actually going to be making if I decide to get it. Slap hands, bump fists, let's go. Okay, so today we're going to break it down two ways. I'm going to first explain why it's a good time to get a car loan. And then towards the middle half of this video, for all you math junkies out there, I'm going to jump into Excel. And I'm going to show you why exactly this works and how I am planning on making money off of having a car loan. I know it sounds super counterintuitive. Just trust me on this one, and you'll see here in a second, okay? So the first reason why right now is a good time to get a car loan is just the interest rates are actually in our favor.
There's never, ever, ever a time to get a car loan mathematically, ever. Interest rates are never in your favor. Interest rates are only for the bank, no matter the amount, no matter how little, especially no matter how much. But interest rates are never in your favor. Only people in the debt matrix believe that, okay? Never finance anything that goes down in value. Anytime you do that, you're financing the taxes too, and interest rates are never in your favor, ever, unless you're the one giving the loan.
Consumer's favor. And what I mean by that is right now, a car loan interest rate is relatively low, and interest rates for CDs, certificate of deposits, and high yield saving accounts are relatively high.
Right now, he's comparing two irrelevant things, a car loan versus a CD. That means absolutely nothing. That means nothing. I don't. Now, again, I'm not saying that he's not telling the truth. That makes absolute sense inside the debt matrix. Outside the debt matrix, that makes no mathematical sense. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either, since math and money are one. We wouldn't have the ability to count money if math didn't exist. We wouldn't even know what to do.
As of right now, my savings account is at a 2.2%. Actually just got paid interest 2 days ago for having my money sit in there. True passive income.
Wait, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I didn't hear what he just said.
My savings account is at a 2.2%. Actually just got paid interest 2 days ago for having my money sit in there. True passive income.
No comment. I'm going to keep going.
It can be a little bit higher. It can float around 4 all the way up to closer to 5% depending on your credit score. So that might break this model.
Now remember, if he didn't believe what he's saying, he wouldn't have made this video. Okay?
Model here, again, you can do your math. I'm going to show you how here in a second. But for the folks out there who are looking at buying a new car, it's going to work out pretty well for us. So aside from the interest rates being really good right now, number two, the reason why is because when interest is good, we get cheap money. Cheap money is when we can borrow or rent money from somebody else. In this case, it's a bank, lender, whatever you want to call them, rather inexpensively. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, I've talked a lot about leveraging and using debt and how debt is a great thing. You just have to know how to use it and how to leverage it in your favor. And that's what we're doing today.
When you're in debt, you're not leveraging anything, especially on the personal side. I want you to understand there's a difference between leveraging debt-free on the business side and trying to leverage debt on the consumer side while you're in debt. If you're in debt, you're not leveraging anything. Okay, I want you to make sure you clearly understand that. Exactly. If you cheap money, what are you talking about, cheap money? That doesn't even make any sense. But remember, if he didn't believe what he's saying, he wouldn't have made this video. And It makes, and he's not, again, he's not lying. But it only makes sense to people in the debt matrix because nobody gets a good deal on a finance car. Nobody in the world. That makes no mathematical sense whatsoever.
Is that we can get cheap money to leverage it in our favor. And it's even more important right now why we want to take cheap money instead of paying the car all in cash. Which you're probably asking, if I have the cash, why not just pay it and I don't have to worry about the interest rates or monthly payments, all that stuff.
That's exactly right. Outside the debt matrix, that is exactly right. But it sounds like he's about to give us a reason that it doesn't make financial sense, right? The first reason right there, that makes 100% exact mathematical financial sense. But he's going to give us another reason. He's going to give us a reason that it doesn't make mathematical sense. Math never changes, okay?
Well, 2 reasons.
He's about to remember, never mix your feelings with your money. The first statement was right. Now he's about to tell us how he feels about that answer, okay? This is just his feelings, and feelings in mathematics have nothing to do with each other, okay? Now he's going to tell us, all right, let's see how you feel about it.
One is, we've talked about it before, credit. But what this does is by pulling out this loan, you also strengthen your credit, which sets you up in the future to make other plays.
Now I'm translating. Build your credit, which sets you up in the future to dig yourself deeper in debt. Okay, if you dig yourself in debt right now on this car, and it'll strengthen your credit to be able to build yourself up to dig yourself even in a deeper hole as you get older. That's the translation outside the debt matrix. Okay,
that requires a credit check. And then 2, it keeps you liquid. And what liquid means is that you have cash and that you can move quickly between and into investment. So
if you are in debt, add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. If you're in the negative, you have no cash. According to mathematics, you have no cash. And if you finance the car, you put yourself even deeper in the hole. You have no cash to move anywhere, to liquidate anything. That's a feeling. Okay, that's not, again, what he's saying is legitimate in the debt matrix. Outside the debt matrix, you can't do anything with negative dollars. That's mathematically impossible. Okay.
If you ever watch my other video right here, I'm talking about there's a recession or market correction coming very soon, whether it's in the next 12 months, next 2 years, not sure. I don't have an economic crystal ball. I do know that based on the history of the last 100 years, we are way overdue for one. It's not a matter of like if it's going to happen, it's just when. Now, on top of these reasons I just laid out for you, if you have the cash and the cash flow or income, you can actually make money by pulling out a loan. So just as a quick recap before we jump over to Excel, you want to be pulling out a loan because 1, interest rates are awesome right now. 2,
okay, hold up. I got to rewind this because he kind of threw me off
I don't
there.
have an economic crystal ball. I do know that based on the history of the last 100 years, we are way overdue for one. It's
True.
not a matter of like if it's going to happen, it's just when.
It is. That's true.
Reasons I just laid out for you.
Okay.
If you have the cash and the cash flow or income, you can actually make money by pulling out a loan. So just as a quick recap before we jump over to Excel, you want to be.
If you have the cash, right now is the right time to pull out a loan. I don't even get it. I'm trying my hardest to get what he just said. If I have the cash, now's the time to pull out a loan. I'm trying to make sense of it. I don't get it. That makes no mathematical sense.
Be pulling out a loan because 1, interest rates are awesome right now. 2, money is cheap. 3, you want to stay liquid. 4, you want to build that credit score. And 5, we're going to make a little bit of money off of it. All right, let's jump over to Excel. I'm going to show you what I'm working with. Okay, if you're finding this helpful so far and you want to hear more about how I'm going to make. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with a couple of assumptions. This is more of where I'm looking between the 30, 40,000 price range. Yours is going to be different, obviously, so we can play with this. But I want you to know that this works for my numbers as well as whatever your numbers may be. The only difference is it's going to be based on your credit score and the interest rates that you get. in the bank account that obviously you have set up. So assumptions here is that I'm pulling out a $35,000 loan, and I just got approved for a 3.54% interest rate on a 60-term or 5-year car loan. So basically what I could have done here is I could have amortized or shown the payments over the course of 60 months or 5 years, but I didn't want to take the time of doing that. And for folks that don't know how to do that in Excel, it's really easy. You're just going to go to Google and type in a car loan calculator, and you'll get something like this, which I'm just using, what is this, bankrate.com, and it has this auto loan calculator, and you can plug everything in here however you want it. So I have it 60 months, and it gives you your monthly payments, total principal paid, and then total interest paid. Right? And this is the important part. You want to see your amortization schedule. And what that does, it shows you how much you're paying towards.
Let me tell you, SMD family, check this out. The banks put that calculator up there on the internet. The banks are doing it right in your face. The banks are doing it. They're having people do their own. It's right in their face. They're showing the people how much more they are going to pay for that car than what it's worth, right in their face. They let people go and calculate it with themselves. He's even doing it on this video. He is showing the world how much more he's paying for that car than what it's worth over 5 years. 5 years? Man, let me tell you guys something. There is, you know what it seems like or even sounds like for me to sit down at a table at a car lot and legally tie myself to a depreciating object? Oh, legally and financially tie myself to something that goes down in value every time I drive it? Oh my God. You guys have no idea what that even sounds like to me. That just sounds like financial suicide. And I did that for years. And I also did one of these things. I got online, plugged in some numbers and said, oh, this is going to be my car payment. And then you see the car payment. Guess what? It sits right there in the average of what I told you guys in the beginning of this video. The average. And if this is you, if they pull up the average car payment, the average insurance payment, the average credit card payment, and you fall into that category, that's where your payment is. You're part of the average. You're part of the debt matrix. So if this is you watching this video and this makes sense to you because you're in the debt matrix, the banks are showing you right here in your face, look how much more you're going to pay for this car than what it's worth today. You know it goes down in value right now as soon as you drive it off the lot. So say like he plugged in there $30,000. It's going to go down from there. But each year that goes by, it goes up for you. And the bank's showing you right in your face and people still don't see it. That's why there's one invisible economy and there's one visible. This makes sense to the visible one in the debt matrix. Outside the debt matrix, the invisible economy, that makes no sense. But over here, we are the ones letting the other economy borrow the money. Those numbers make total sense for us to make money. But if you're inside the debt matrix, and that makes sense to you, you're in a lot of trouble. You are in deep doo-doo.
It's principal and interest every single month and what your balance is dwindling down to. And so you can use that. And what that gives us is that we bounce back over here to the spreadsheet, is that I just kind of took a snapshot at the end of each year and also a snapshot of the interest paid per year. And so you can see here that I end up paying $3,240, assuming that I have a $35,000.
I mean, he's saying it so nonchalantly. He's saying it like, this is how much I'll pay more for that car than what it's worth in interest payments. Are you cool with that? People, now let me. I'm gonna share with you guys something that you cannot see. Okay. He financed the taxes too. That's not on the spreadsheet because it's phantom. It's only phantom to those who are in debt. If he finances the car, he really didn't get that interest rate. He just believes he got that interest rate, okay? He financed the car, so he financed $30,000 in taxes too. That interest is just the frosting on the cake. Okay, he can't see the other one. He's so far upside down in that. And remember, when you finance a car, they're basing your car payment on your gross income. Money that people are not even going to see. They don't even see it. That can't be in that spreadsheet. This spreadsheet only makes sense to those whom are in debt. That's why it's not a lie. He's not saying anything wrong. It makes total sense to those in the debt matrix.
Following me so far? Okay. Here's the portion that I'm pitching to you on why it's better to get a car loan. Is I could pay this in cash, pay for it, take the car, don't have payments, don't pay interest.
Okay, pay attention. He nonchalantly tells the people the correct way at first, but you notice how his voice is downplaying it, like it's, yeah, pay the car, and then I'm gone, great, no payments. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it. But see how he's downplaying it? Now, he told you the truth. Now he's going to tell you his feelings about the truth. Remember, he told you the truth. Now he's about to share with you his feelings about the truth. And they mean nothing. Just how he feels about it is irrelevant. Okay, here we go. Here's his feelings. Pay attention.
Okay, fair enough. Now, what if I took that money and I just put it in a bank account? And in my bank account, that gets 2.2%. I let that accrue interest, even though that 2.2% is lower than 3.54%. What is the cost of me borrowing the $35,000?
I have no idea. Tell me.
Money in my savings account because accruing interest.
He threw up so many fancy numbers and 2.2% and this and that and put it over here. What if I? He's giving you what if scenarios. What if I did this? What if I put it in this account and earned this? What if it did that? So it's all possible. What if what? But when you're in listen, people that are in debt, they don't know that they are in debt. Okay. You think they're going to understand any of these flashy numbers, 2.2, this and that, and put in that bank account? They're not going to, they don't understand that. If they don't even know they're in debt, they're definitely not going to understand what he's saying. They're going to believe him. Okay. They're going to they're going to look at his fancy background. He's got a board on the thing and he's got some weights over there. All this stuff, people in debt pay attention to all that. So they believe him because they see his stuff. They're not paying attention to what he's saying. He's not making mathematical sense outside the debt matrix. Inside the debt matrix, I guess that makes sense. I guess.
And then paying this loan with that money. So we jump over here. I'm going to pay the loan with my $35,000 in high yield savings account at 2.2%. I did the same thing here, and you can do the same thing as well. All you got to do is go to Google. If you don't want to amortize this yourself, what you can simply do is go into Google, type in simple savings calculator or savings calculator. So this one I'm using is bank rate as well. Put in the initial amount, which is right here, which is the $35,000 I'm going to put in. I'm not going to put in any type of deposit. We're making a big assumption here where interest rates aren't going to increase. In this case,
everything he's saying is an assumption. Okay, everything. The only thing that is guaranteed is the phantom income. That's guaranteed. If you don't finance a car, you don't finance the taxes too. Each and every time you finance a car, you're financing the taxes too. People in the debt matrix are getting taxed twice and have not a clue that they are. And it doesn't matter if they know or not. That is irrelevant. Math says so. SMD family, we don't do stuff like that. Especially making videos about it and saying it out loud. You have no idea who is listening to you in the invisible economy. The one that people in the debt matrix cannot see.
It's very, very good that interest rates increase because that means I make more money off of my savings account. But my car loan is at a fixed 3.54%. So that's in our favor. And interest rates have almost basically doubled in the last like 2 quarters. So we're in good shape right here. It's very likely that we're going to see this reach 3% by the end of this year. So back to this though.
He's excited about paying less money for a car loan that he doesn't even. Again, I have to start with you guys so you guys can understand the part you don't see. They base your car payment on gross income, money that you're not even going to get. You're already upside down. And then you don't have the money for the car, the very reason why you're financing the car. So if you don't have the money for the car, you don't have the money for the taxes too. You're financing the taxes too, spread over 60, 72 months. You're never winning. These calculators that he's going to, the bank built them. He's basing his calculations on what the bank created. He's not wrong what he's saying. It makes total sense in the debt matrix.
So this gives me what my final savings balance is. So in 5 years, my $35,000 turns into just over 39.
These are hypothetical numbers. They're just putting in stuff. You guys, listen. He's just putting in stuff. Of course, hey, why stop at that? Why don't you just put in 60,000 and triple your percentage rate? It doesn't matter. This is how he feels about it. The only thing that's guaranteed is this. If you never finance a car, you make more than the collective average. If the average car, like I said in the beginning, if the average car payment is $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. If you don't have a car payment, you now make $6,000 more per year than the millions of average people that do have a car payment.
$1,000. I also want to see my yearly balance sheet. I take that and I can bring it back over here to right here. Okay. And so what you're noticing here, though, that is less than my balance. That's because I had to service the loan up here. So you're taking money out of this bank account here and you're paying this loan here. And that's your remaining balance. And this is the interest that you're making off that money during the year. If you guys follow me right here, it's going to show me the total amount of interest that I accrued by keeping my money in this account. It's going to also show me the total annual interest revenue that I have, which you can see here is actually negative because I'm taking this interest here that I made from my savings account and I'm subtracting out the interest from the car loan, okay? Which gives me a monthly interest of right here per year, just roughly $23 a month to borrow that money. To borrow $35,000 for about 20 bucks or roughly 4 cups of coffee a month is extremely cheap. For me to be able to take $35,000 and implement it like that and go buy a new home, invest into something else, it's worth.
Okay. I have no idea what he just did on that spreadsheet. You got to remember, spreadsheets intimidate people in debt. If they don't know about money, you see the terms he was using. Hey, you math junkies. Math junkie? What are you talking about, math junkie? Math goes with money. We couldn't count money if we didn't know about math. So why are you calling it math junkie? That makes no sense. But anyway, what he's saying is the spreadsheets, this number, and he takes this, but he's earning interest here. And you think anybody in the debt matrix understands anything he's saying on that spreadsheet? I know about money, and I don't even understand that. That makes all these hypothetical situations, you just throwing numbers in there. It makes absolutely no sense. And listen, I understand money, how it really works. I understand how it really works, and that makes absolutely no sense to me because it's in the debt matrix. It only makes sense in the debt matrix. Nobody gets a finance car on sale. Nobody gets a great deal of a finance car. Nobody. That's mathematically impossible. Mathematically impossible. But he's making it seem like, again, if you think that is true, that's not true. Okay? Mathematically not true.
That $23. Now, that's all good and gravy, right? That's cool. It's a semi-fancy way of approaching a car loan and then having cheap money work for you. However, I don't like paying the 20 bucks. So now I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to take the $35,000 that I have in cash. I'm going to earmark it and put it into account, 2.2%, and I'm not going to touch it, right? Even as I pay and service the loan, I'm not going to touch the $35,000. I have enough other cash reserves and cash flows from my income that I'm going to use that money to service the loan. So let's see what that does. At the end of the first year, I'm going to have just under $36,000. It's going to make me about $800 in interest. The next year is going to make me about $800 again. The year after, you're going over $800, and it's going to keep on growing all the way until year 5. So the total interest that I accrued over those 5 years by just letting the money sit there, it's going to be $4,000, almost $4,100. Now, what you'll notice here is the same thing. The first 2 years, I'm losing a little bit of money renting that money to buy the vehicle. But after year 2, I start making money because I'm accruing more interest in my savings account than the interest that I'm paying for the car loan. You guys following? Stick with me here. So at the end of the 5 years, I'll actually end up making over $800 in accrued interest, and I would also still have instant access to that $35,000. So really there's 3 scenarios here. You can either buy your car cash, you don't have payments, you have interest, but you're kind of at a wash and you're out of that cash. Don't really recommend it. Or you pull out a full loan and you pay it through your cash flows, right? That's more of the traditional method. Don't really recommend that either. Or you have the cash and you put it into a high yield savings account and you pay the loan from that account, paying a nominal interest.
I tell you what, if I was a bank owner, if I was part of the bank industry, I would absolutely love this guy. I would love him to death. I would actually hire him. If I owned a bank, I would hire him, because what he's saying is exactly what I would want the people to do. Everything is exactly right. If I owned a bank, if I was part of the central bank, I would hire that guy. He would be in all my commercials. He would be in all my videos on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. He would be my spokesman. He knows how to talk to people in debt. He's very good. He's very good at flashing back and forth and this and that, and earn interest over here. Then I earned $4,000 over the time of 5 years. Really? All that, right? Okay, cool. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you get the people to believe it, you are hired. Step outside the debt matrix. He makes absolutely no sense. I would say if he came to me out and if he came to me today, the first question I would ask this young man, let me see your personal credit report. I want to see all 3 of them. I want to see all 3 of your personal credit reports. I would look at it, because if honestly, I don't know this person, but again, I would ask to see his personal credit report by the things he's saying. It would tell me, his personal credit report will tell me if he actually believes what he's saying. His personal credit report will tell me if he's just doing this to make money or he actually believes what he's saying. His personal credit reports, all 3 of them, will tell me that answer. Because he's good at what he's saying. I mean, he's just giving you a bunch of opinions and what ifs and scenarios, and if you get people in the debt matrix to believe it, you're winning.
Each month to have access to your cash when you really need it. Okay.
I promise you, the majority of Americans are in debt. Okay. They don't have $35,000 sitting around in a bank account. Okay. And they're just, hey, I don't want to pay cash. I'm going to choose to finance. That's not true. All you got to do is look up the statistics, right? $1.6 trillion in student loan debt. That scenario is not true. Trillions in car loan debt. That scenario is not true. Trillions in mortgage debt. That's not true. Credit card debt. That's not true. Trillions in consumer debt. You think people got $35,000 sitting around in a bank account and they're just choosing not to pay a car cash? Hell, you can give, check it out. If somebody in the debt matrix had $50,000, let me explain this to you guys so you guys can understand the next level of thinking. You could give, if a person in debt had $50,000 in student loan debt and you came and gave them cash and said, here, pay off your student loan debt, they still wouldn't do it. Know why they wouldn't do it? Because they don't know they're in debt. They only speak debt. They do not understand the language of debt free. Even if you told them, even if you said, hey, you know what? If I gave you $50,000 and you had $50,000 in student loan debt, you would be at zero. You would be free. They still wouldn't understand what you're saying. If you told them they would be at zero, they would think they're broke. They don't even get it. It's a mindset. Hell, think about it this way. You got drug dealers. Everybody knows some sort of drug dealer making car payments. Does that make any sense to you? That makes no sense to me. You got drug dealers making payments. It's a mindset. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you live in the debt matrix, this makes total sense.
That one interests me a little bit more. Or The last scenario, which is my favorite scenario, is I take the $35,000 I was going to spend on the car and I put it in a high yield savings account. Or in my case, I use it to go purchase another piece of property. I invest in index funds and a mutual fund. I invest in my own personal business, anything that's going to get me a higher percentage.
I always tell you guys, don't involve your feelings. But when I hear stuff like this, it just drives me nuts. I just can't take it. I can't even take it. It's just, and listen, I understand it's business. Okay. It's business. I get it. I get why the banks do it. The banks are into making money, not teaching people about money. It's nothing personal. How you guys seeing me react is just, this is my personal feelings. I can't really, it's hard to listen when I know it doesn't make mathematical sense. But again, I have to reiterate this. If you're new to my channel and you're coming in, if he makes sense to you, if what he's saying makes sense to you, you live in the debt matrix. All you got to do is do the math, and you will clearly see that doesn't make any financial sense. CNTS. And math and money are one. If math didn't exist, we wouldn't have the ability to count money. Okay? You can't separate them. Just the only thing that can separate them is feelings.
But to be super conservative, the baseline is 2.2%, which is pretty darn high right now. I put it in there, and I end up making money by the end of the loan. So you're probably wondering why I'm looking at these numbers. And from my other videos, I always say don't buy a new car. And I've personally never purchased a new car in my entire life. I always buy used and I always buy deals. But there's something changing that has me very interested in a new vehicle. And there's some great benefits, including what I just showed you today, that has piqued my curiosity. I may be buying a brand new vehicle for the first time in my life within the next couple days. So if I do, I'm going to make a video about it.
And you know what else? He sounds like he's going to finance it too. By what he's telling us in this video, he's going to purchase a brand new vehicle and he's going to finance it. He's going to finance a brand new vehicle. That's financial suicide. That is fine. It's already suicide enough to finance a car. Okay. A lot of people, the people in the debt matrix believe that that's normal. That's not normal. It's already financial suicide. And a person goes and finances a brand new car. Oh my God.
You'll see exactly the numbers on why it is cheaper to buy and drive and maintain a brand new 2019 Tesla than it is to drive my paid off 1996 Toyota Tacoma. But if this video is helpful to you and you liked it, hit that like button, sub right here. But I want to know, tell me down in the comment section, what car do you want to buy next if you can apply this technique to it? Check me out on Instagram if you want to. You see all the photos of me building this house here, the shipping container style home. Other than that, I love you all. Can't wait to
see how he throws that in there. That's just that's a trigger to get people in debt, to make people in debt believe that it reassures the people in debt that he knows what he's saying is correct. That he's doing something or other with the big house and all this other stuff. And like in the beginning, you can see the background of somebody's house. Not saying it's his or is not, I don't know. But all that stuff counts, and saying things like that count because stuff impresses people in the debt matrix. So again, if I owned a bank, I would definitely hire this dude because he knows how to talk to people in the debt matrix. He does. Straight up. All right, let's stop sharing now. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Welcome, everybody. And welcome to the next level of thinking about money. I teach a whole different type of personal finance. You look at me as you can view me as a conscious financial educator using only grade school math to make everything make sense. Everything I say is 100% true. How can I say this? Because math says so. Math always will say so. So if you follow the math and see my math is right, it has to be true. Okay? That's how I can make such a claim. This is why you can Google hashtag savings minus debt. I will be the only person that pops up. this is a whole level of thinking about money. You think above. This is, how can I even put this, man? It's very difficult to describe. It's very difficult to describe. Okay. But all you have to do to understand everything I'm saying is just believe in mathematics. That's it. NC Briggs says, I couldn't follow him. I follow people like that because they know how to talk to the people in debt. They know how to do the right titles. And so that's what I follow those guys, see what they're talking about, grab their title and use it, because people in the debt matrix are attracted to titles like that. Hey, don't use your own money, get a car loan. You know, the people in debt they're like, hey, yeah, I don't want to use my own money. The reason why people in debt are attracted to that, because they don't realize they don't have any money. That's why they're naturally attracted to that, because they really don't have no money to buy a car cash. So a loan is their only option, but they don't know that. Jaws 2003 says he's comparing an electric car to gas truck. Electric cars have less maintenance off the top compared to a gas truck. And also, let me tell you something, Jaws 2003. People that finance Teslas are not saving gas. They just believe they are. They're not saving gas. They might be saving a little more money than the other people in the debt matrix that have gas vehicles. Like, they might be saving a little bit more money than other people in the debt matrix with gas vehicles by not purchasing gas. But if they're financing a Tesla or any type of electric car, they're not saving money on gas. They just believe they are. That's a belief. Let me go back up here to the top to answer you guys, because you guys might have been answering questions. What's up, All Around Strong? Sean C. Nicer, welcome. Let's go through some of these. I don't want to start at the bottom. Hassan says, financing the taxes. Yep. Each and every time somebody finances a car, they're financing the taxes too. Listen to the mathematics. This is the next level of speaking. I'm only speaking debt free. If you don't understand, please ask the question. And this is a safe zone. SMD family is a place. Savings minus debt family is a place that you can be comfortable and asking about something about your personal finances that doesn't make sense. Even if you're uncomfortable in math, that's okay. I'm gonna get you confident in math, because the only math you need to understand is grade school math, nothing more. If you understand grade school math and have a calculator on your phone, that is the only thing you need to understand when you come to this channel. And nobody here is going to tease you. Nobody's going to call you stupid. Nobody's going to call you names. Nobody here is going to do that. I'm bringing you into the SMD family, because this place is where we all help each other grow. We all become millionaires just using 5th grade math. So you come here, tell your friends, nothing, no question is a dumb question. Everybody in this room will help you. Nicer says, math junkies. I know, math junkie. No, math is the only thing you need to know when it comes to your money. Never out loud, if you're new to this channel, never out loud say you're not good with mathematics, especially when you're talking to somebody that's about to handle your money. Don't you ever say that. You're telling the person that's handling your money that you will know nothing what that person is doing if they were to do something. Mark says, feels like he's trying to justify why he's getting himself a car. That's exactly what he's doing, Mark. He's trying to justify in buying a brand new car. That's all he's doing. He's just convincing himself. And people in the debt matrix, that's what they do. They make up some scenario that justifies them buying so he's going to trade in a paid off car to finance a car. That makes absolutely no sense. None. Because you got to remember, he's not thinking about money collectively. He's thinking about money individually. Okay. When you think collectively, 85% of people, there's millions of people that have financed cars, and you don't, and you have an older paid off car, you're making so much more money than anybody in a finance Tesla. Anybody. Teslas are going for 80,000, 100,000, 60,000, 30,000. You think if people are financing phones, you think they're not financing a car? People are financing cell phones. Hardly anybody's buying cars cash, okay? The only person saving money on gas in a Tesla is the person that pays cash for that Tesla, period. I know Hyphy said cheap money. That makes absolutely no sense. Nicer says, reach through the screen, grab the back of his neck, and unplug him from the Matrix. This is really sad. Again, he's part of the Matrix, Nicer. He doesn't know he's there. At least I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe his credit report will tell me if he lives in the debt matrix or he don't, or he works for the banks. Okay? But either way, if he works for the banks, he's good. Sean C says, morning, LJ and SMD crew. Good morning. Good morning. All Around Strong says, interesting to see where this video goes. Yeah. It might go somewhere. I mean, it's relatable to the people in the debt matrix. Jaws 2003 says, everyone on edge with Linnell analysis right now with this dude. You know, again, don't look at him personally, okay? He's just relaying a message. That's it. It's nothing personal with the guy himself. It's nothing personal, okay? He's not wrong. He's not an idiot. He's not stupid. He's not doing anything illegal. He's doing everything he's doing is exactly right, is exactly legal. You should do it if you live in the debt matrix. Do what he says. Nonstop Dre says, when I hear what if, I automatically ignore what follows it. Yeah, exactly. He says, what if I try? And people, and that's a good catch, Dre. Good catch, because a lot of people don't hear that. What if I did this, if, all scenarios, okay? Elijah says, this is worse than a cringy horror movie. It's cool, man. It's just, you know, people do what they do. All right. What's up, Ricky? Nicer says, money you put in a bank savings account is what banks use to get more people deeper in debt through bank loans. Exactly. Because I forgot what it's called. It's got a specific name where they can take $1,000 of your money, and then, but they can times that by 10 when loaning it out. I forgot what it's called. It's something banking, but that's what they do. That's why they attract you with these low interest rates, just to get you to put their money in there, because they can loan out 10 times the amount you put in. Dre says, if it's not true and logical, I don't want to hear it. That's it. That's all you got to do. But a lot of people can't hear it. Miyagi says, what it do? I'm in this thing. What we learning about today, this video. Hassan says, it would be easy to just pay cash up front than to go through all that BS. This world is going effing crazy. That's true. People don't even understand how far underwater they're in when they finance a car. Because check it out, I'm gonna just take you through a few steps when you finance a car, okay? First, the car is marked up because the car salesman must make a profit off of how much he paid for the car. So that's number one. Number two, they go by your gross income, the money before taxes are taken out. Why are they making your car payment go by money that you're not even going to get? You're already upside down, haven't even got the keys in your hand, whatever, right? And then when you finance it, you're financing the taxes too, because you don't have the car for the cash. You haven't even drove off the lot yet. People in debt believe our car goes down in value when you drive it off the lot. That's the last piece. After they're done with you in the car and it's sitting 8 hours a day, 8 hours in a car lot to buy one car with all those factors that I just said, and then you drive it off the car lot and it plummets even more. They only sell gap insurance to people who are upside down in cars. If you have gap insurance, you're in debt. They only offer gap insurance to those who are in debt. That's why there's a gap. You're so deep upside down in the car. If you got in a wreck and totaled it, you would still owe money. That the amount of money that you still owed, that's how much upside down you are in the car. Upside down means this: you owe more on the car than what it's worth. Elijah said, I'm confused. Hyphy said $23 monthly may not be cheap to everyone. General statement. Yep. Elijah says, why use a loan when you have all the cash to get a better deal? Exactly. And when you have the cash, if I had the cash to buy a car that I wanted, I would go buy from somebody that's deep in debt for half the price. I would buy the car under Blue Book value, because when you have money and you're not in the debt matrix, Blue Book value of almost anything no longer applies to me. Doesn't even apply to me. I don't care about the Blue Book value of a car. I don't care about the current home prices going in whatever neighborhood. None of that matters, because as long as there are people with 30-year mortgages, I will, and believe that they're homeowners, I will always be able to get a house at the price I choose. I choose, because I think about it now that I'm out of the debt matrix, to sit down in a bank and legally and financially tie myself to a house for 30 years of my life. That sounds like financial prison to me. Sit down and say, I'm good with this. Not only am I financing the house, I'm financing the taxes too. Yep, I'm going to sign right there and pay an interest rate on top of that. And since I don't have the money, I have to go earn the money. So what I'm doing is promising the bank my next 30 years of future earnings to them. I'm signing on a dotted line. Or that sounds like a financial insanity. 30 years? Listen, people, listen to what I'm saying. 30 years. And that's only if you never finance a house. If you don't finance the house not one time. People finance their house several times, and they talk about first and second mortgages like it's nothing. Now imagine this. Imagine this, okay? You finance a house. Why? Because you don't have the money. And so if you finance in a house, imagine the taxes on $300,000 and $400,000. Imagine the amount of taxes. You're financing those too. And then people go and finance a house, and then they get a second mortgage and refinance several times like it's nothing. Restarting that 30-year clock. Each time a person refinances a house, they start the 30-year clock over again. And really believe they're paying off cars and credit cards. They really believe that they're going to borrow the bank's money and pay off the bank's credit cards and pay off the bank's cars with the bank's own money. Why do people in the debt matrix don't trust mathematics? I have no idea. And yet they still walk around calling themselves homeowners. How in the world did the banks do that, you guys? I have no idea. But let me tell you guys something here in the SMD family. This will always be, and this must be. Get out of debt and you will be free forever, forever. I'm not saying make $1 million. I'm not saying make $1 trillion or $1 billion or $1 trillion. Get to zero. You cannot count to 1 million if you don't start at zero. You cannot count to 1 million if you don't start at zero. You cannot count to 1 million. So add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Now, if that's a large negative number, you know it's a large negative number, and you don't know what it is, it will be mathematically impossible for you to ever count to $1 million. It's mathematically impossible because you gotta have some place to start. And if you don't know what this negative number is, you can't start. That's what math says. Math says, okay, you want to count to 1 million. Where are we going to start? And if you don't know the amount of debt you're in, you can't start. That's mathematically impossible. See what I'm saying? Everything I'm saying can be verified to be 100% true. Miyagi says, so who's the numbers wizard and what type of sorcery is this? Exactly. And you know who the number wizard is, Miyagi? When people go to finance cars and then the salesman says, hey, I'm here for you. I'm going to work for you. And then he gets up and then he goes talk to some mystery man behind the glass back there. That's the wizard. That's the numbers wizard. He gets up and goes back and forth, and people really believe he's going back in there doing something for the person. I don't know why. That's the banks, okay? The bank figured that out too. But he gets probably going back there to make a chess move or just talking to his friend, make a phone call, and then he comes back to you. You people in the debt, they have this set number in their head, how much they're going to make a monthly payment. They never walk out with that monthly payment. They're always paying more. That's part of the plan. Miyagi says, or debt. Nicer's laughing. So is Elijah. Dre360 says, wouldn't it make more sense to just buy a cheap, reliable car with cash and save or invest the rest of the 35K? I appreciate the truth you preach. Keep it up. Yes, it would be. And I'm not saying, if you guys, let me explain something to you guys, okay? When you're in debt and you hear the word budget, and people hear the word budget, they think you got to live poor and broke, and you can't buy anything, you can't go on vacation, you can't do what other people in the debt matrix do. This is what people in the debt matrix sound like. They hear the word budget, and then they think, oh man, look at all my friends and family. They're kicking it, they're doing this, they're buying boats and houses and going on vacations every year. They're in the debt matrix. Stop looking at them. If you follow them, they're going to keep you there. Budget, and once you use the word budget, once you cross over the threshold of zero, you will realize budget is just a way of life. That's not even budget. You don't even have to budget once you get out of debt. You don't even have to. Life is cheap. Life only seems expensive when you're in debt and you don't believe mathematics. You get out of debt, get to zero, and you'll be free. Imagine this. Add up everybody knows the magical number that would free them of every single debt, student loans, mortgages, collections, all that stuff, right? Imagine whatever that number is, okay? Now, what if somebody wrote you a check and paid off every single one of those debts? How would that make you feel? Would that be a relief? Would you be able to walk again, breathe again, do anything you want? You would definitely quit the job that you hate because you're not in debt, so you don't really need it anymore, so you quit it, right? That's what it feels like to have a net worth of zero. Not a million, not a billion, not a trillion, zero. That's what it feels like to have a net worth of zero. You are free. Now you can mathematically count to 1 million. See how easy that was? Tell somebody in the debt matrix that you have a net worth of zero. They will think you're broke. You know why they'll think you're broke? Because they don't understand the language of debt free. They only speak debt. Hey, man, check it out. I just got to a net worth of zero, man. I'm worth zero. They would look at you like you are nuts. Jaws 2003 says all that for 4K, you can save $334 per month and have that money by the end of the year. Exactly. You are exactly right. 2003. Exactly. That's called phantom income, what you just said. They can't see that. They can't see that. People in debt cannot see that. They cannot see something so simple to see. Sharif says he might be working for the banks. I believe so. Might be. Do your thing. I'm not hating on him. If he's working for the banks, I couldn't do it. I would work for the banks, but I couldn't do that. Okay. Because it's just business. If you guys are listening to me and you see that I'm financially, you hear me speak financially free and I'm financially free, I would work for the banks because it's nothing personal. I couldn't do a commercial for them, but I could work for them. It's about business. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. Nothing. Because people in debt are choosing to be in debt. All they have to do is use the mathematics that they learned in grade school against their finances, and they will understand where they're at. But if they're choosing not to, that's their problem. They're choosing to. They're choosing not to. Sharif says they are pushing debt onto the public. Yeah, that's the way of business. That's when you see TV commercials, when you hear a commercial on the radio, when you that's pushing debt. Okay, phones, cell phones. It's when you get out of debt, you guys, you will see how much stuff is being sold to you every minute of the freaking day. I mean, constant. It's constantly being sold to you, constantly. You just don't notice it when you're in the debt matrix. You think it's normal to have commercials on TV, commercials on the radio. You believe it's normal. And then, oh my God, it's just nonstop. I have to mute all the TV commercials. Banks have to make money. Yes, it's business. Elijah said, what you talking about, Willis? Nothing. It's nothing personal, just business. Exactly. Jaws 2003 says he's comparing an electric car to a gas truck. Yeah. People who finance electric cars really believe they're saving money on gas. They're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. So if somebody rolls up with a new Tesla truck, a new Tesla car, do not be impressed. This is all you got to do. When somebody rolls up on a new vehicle, rolls up on you with the inside of a new vehicle, this is what I want you to say without alerting the person in the debt matrix. Go like say something like, I'm gonna give you two things to say to that person. One, to say directly to them, say, "Man, I know that payment is steep." Just say something like that, because people don't really like telling other people how much their payment is. But this is what they'll respond with if they have a payment. Oh, it's not that much. Okay, you don't need to listen to them anymore. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. They're making payments. They did it wrong. Okay. Or say like this, say like you're working with the person that rolled up with a brand new car and they come into the office. I want you to bring up the student loan debt crisis. If that person with the new car gets emotionally involved in that conversation, they're in debt. So likelihood they have student loans and they finance that car. They don't know they're in debt matrix. They don't know why you asked that question. They'll just get emotionally involved and say, hey, yeah, the president should do something about it. Education should be free. They always say this nonsense that makes absolutely no sense. Okay. All right. Gap insurance doesn't even make sense, says Mark. It doesn't. It makes sense for the bank. It makes sense for insurance companies. You better believe that. That makes total sense. Outside, if it doesn't make mathematical sense inside the debt matrix, it makes money, it makes sense CNTS outside the debt matrix. And this is SMD family, this is how you know, okay? This is how you know. If you see something and you do the math and it doesn't make sense, think immediately of the opposite of why it makes sense to make money. That's how money is made. That's why there's two economies, one that's visible and one that's invisible. People in debt cannot see the one invisible, but the invisible one to the people in debt relies on the one that's visible. Okay. All Around Strong says, LJ, regarding your numbers on financing a house mathematically, is it advantageous to take out a mortgage? 2 reasons. Okay. There's only one mortgage there's only 2 ways to buy a house. The first one is with cash. The second one is only with the best mortgage on the market. The only one. You shop several banks. Okay. You find the one that's the best mortgage on the market. You can just Google this and say, what's the best mortgage rate on the market? And then you walk into the bank and you say, I want this mortgage. Can you offer it to me? No, then I'll go down to the next bank, because if you're financially free and they run your credit report, they're going to see that you are debt free. They're not going to offer you anything less than the best. I promise you. They'll know that you're not in debt. They'll just one look at your credit report and they see you have money down and no debt. They're going to know you know what you're talking about. Then they wouldn't insult you with anything less. You not walking into the bank, crossing your fingers, hoping you're getting a mortgage. No, you're walking in the bank to see if they're going to give you the best rate. You're going to get it. You're not going to, it's not a hope. It's not a maybe. It's not a this. No, you're going to get it. You're just trying to determine which bank you're going to get it from. That's it. Lord Vale says, I think you should do a video on the self app. It's becoming bigger, being promoted to everyone. I don't know what is the self app, Lord Vale? I never heard of it. It has something to do with money. All Around Strong says, number 1, you have to live somewhere. So why not invest in something you will own? Number 2, homes typically go up in value, so it's not a depreciating asset. Okay. All right. I didn't read that second part, All Around Strong. Okay. This is, remember, this is next level financial thinking. Okay. And the only thing the only way I'm talking about next level, I'm talking mathematically only. Okay. That's just math. I'm not special. So let me go through your question. You said you will live somewhere. Okay. Yes, you can live somewhere. Mm-hmm. I rent, so I definitely live somewhere. Number 2, homes typically go up in value. It counts on who you're talking to. That's not, because homes typically go up in value. It's on the individual basis. It's not group wise. It's not economy. If a person buys a house with a VA mortgage, financing 100% of the house, it's not going to go up at the same value as a person that paid cash for a house or got the best rate mortgage on the house. They're going to appreciate differently for the individual. Okay. Collectively, the house itself they stay on the same level, but individually, for that person with the VA mortgage compared to the person with the best top rate conventional mortgage on the market, they're not going to raise. One's not an asset. First of all, a personal residence right off the bat is not an asset. Okay, that's not an asset. That's a myth. If you're paying a mortgage, assets bring you money. If you're paying a mortgage, that means it's not an asset for you. So right off the bat, a house is not an asset. Okay. Number two, the only reason it's an asset. Okay, let me take that back. For a person that paid cash for the house, it's an asset. If you have a mortgage, I'm glad I repeated that. If you have a mortgage, it's not an asset. Do you get it? And it's still almost not an asset up here. But if you could pay cash for a house, you pretty much know how to deal with the taxes. Okay. But other than that, it's not. And if you got an FHA mortgage or a VA mortgage, this house is not appreciating the same as a person that got the best top rate mortgage. Okay. Jose says that feeling would be great. That's what it feels like. Jose, all your debt gone. You have a net worth of zero, you would be free. It's not having $1 million or $1 billion or $1 zillion. It's a net worth of zero. Say that to somebody in the debt matrix, they will have not a clue what you're talking about. They would say, why is this person telling me he's broke? He or she's broke. You're not broke. Hyphy says, Krillin guy in the video kept saying interest rates are low. For who? Someone with an 800 FICO score or 500 FICO score? Exactly. That's why he's just talking. He's talking to people whom are in debt. They're in debt. That's why things like this are attractive to people, because they have no money. They are broke. They're in the negative. So they think, this is how people in the debt matrix think, hey, I'm not going to use my money. I'm going to use the bank's money. That's saying use the bank's money. The bank is the one that put that out there. They make that statement. Hey, don't use your money, use our money. Which is really their money, because they put their money in the savings account when they're in the negative. So let me give you an example so you can understand outside the debt matrix. This is how. Now I want you to follow me closely. Those of you that are new to my channel, follow the mathematics. And you can use yourself in this example. Okay. You input the right numbers for you. Add up all your savings. Do not include anything with your name on it and the bank's name on it. Don't include any of that. Okay. Add up all your savings. Add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Okay. Now, if you have a mortgage, put that in there. I'm sorry, I mixed that up, but put that in there. Anything you owe, let's put it this way. Anything you owe the bank is in the negative. That goes into that negative number. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. That's going to be a large negative number. Say like that large negative number was $50,000 for you. Okay. We're just going to say that $50,000 in a negative, and you have $1,000 cash in your bank account, in your savings account. According to math, 1,000 minus 50,000 is negative $49,000. That $1,000 is not there. Now people think, okay, I'm gonna take that $1,000, I'm gonna invest in something else. It's mathematically impossible to invest negative $1,000 into anything. What do you mean? Where are you putting what where? That doesn't make any sense. But yet people believe it. Charles 2003 says, I just looked on Auto Trader and I see plenty of used Teslas for 30K and above. Some from private sellers and some from dealers. Dude can take at 35,000 and get what he wants. Yes. People are selling Teslas because maybe they got in over their head thinking, oh man, I'm gonna get an electric car and save money. No, you're not. No, you're not. Jalen says, SMD family, welcome my girlfriend Courtney Davis to the family. Welcome, Courtney. Welcome. Welcome. Come to be free. DTN says this morning a coworker was bragging about a 5-bedroom mobile home she's financing that's over $70,000 without tax and land fees, and she makes under $20,000 a year. A single mom of four and one kid and one kid on the way. She's only 27. Hey, let me tell you guys something. I know not to enter your feelings with your money. I get it. I just couldn't do that to somebody. I could not do that to a young woman with 4 children. I would just have to tell her no, and she would just have to walk away mad. But a young woman with making $23,000 a year, she's probably justifying it. Oh, I need this for my kids. They need their own bedroom. This is the American dream. But people in the debt matrix don't understand. You have to be sleep to live the American dream. That's why it's an American dream. You must be sleep to see it. Without taxes and land fees, right off the bat, I already know what type of loan she got. I already know how long she's going to be in that house, that mobile home. That is jacked up, man. I would love to see the company that approved her. That is messed up, man. That's messed up. Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible, but it's business. My business is on a totally different level. I couldn't do that because it would conflict with my business. I couldn't do that to somebody. Okay. So it would conflict. I'm on a whole different level of thinking. I'm a conscious financial educator. I will help you free yourself using basic mathematics. All Around Strong says, I have to disagree with the house not being an asset, but I definitely hear what you're saying. Keep working. All Around Strong, hey, you know what? And that's okay that you disagree. It really is. And I know you're a supporter. I'm not saying anything negative, but that's cool. But all I'm saying to you, All Around Strong, my math is going to be right. That's it. No feeling about it. You disagree. I mean, if we run the mathematics, my math is going to be right. And if you see the math and you still say I disagree, you just disagree. I'm not, and I want you to understand, I'm not upset about that you would, not upset. My feelings don't get involved. It's just math. My math will come out and say, yep, the math is right. That's it. I'll say, cool, all right. And because I show people the mathematics on their own house and they still don't agree. I just go, okay, cool. NC Briggs says, I used to work for a dealership. They would hold interest rate points. Man. Hell, when you buy a house, you ever hear that thing that says you can buy points to buy down your interest rate? That makes absolutely no mathematical sense whatsoever. And people do it. Oh, I'm going to buy down my interest rate. Buy down your interest rate? Are you insane? No, that means you don't buy it at all. If you have to buy down points on your interest rate and stuff, that just means more money up front for the bank. It just makes because they know people that do that, they're not going to make it to the end of that term anyway. So they might as well get the money right here. And people do it. People in the debt matrix do such things. It's business. DTN says she's lost in her emotional attachment and listening to others around her who are extremely in debt. Yes, but she doesn't know. First of all, she doesn't know she's in a debt matrix, and she doesn't know she's listening only to other people in the debt matrix. And those same people probably recommended her to go to the same mortgage people that they went to. Hey, they got me into this house with hardly any money down. I didn't have to do this and that. And they just go, really? Okay. And then they just go and do it. Sharif says, you're working hard reading all the comments. Good job. Hey, I love this stuff, man. This doesn't feel like work. When I come in here and do this, it doesn't feel like work to me. You guys don't understand. This is how I know this is my passion. For those of you that are looking for your own passion, I have found something that I'm never, ever wrong. I'm never wrong. Anything I tell you is never wrong. How many people can make that statement? I can prove everything I'm saying is right with mathematics. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything special. I'm not doing anything fancy. This is why little kids are attracted to my channel, because they're closer to mathematics than grown-ups. They're like, kids say to me all the time, hey, doesn't that just make sense? Yeah, the math is right. Why wouldn't you believe it? I know exactly. That's how come, little kid, you're going to be a multimillionaire by the time you're my age, because you believe in mathematics. Let other people believe they got great deals on anything finance. Let them believe it. Doesn't matter. You just keep quiet, little kids. Don't say nothing to people who believe in the debt matrix. Don't say anything to them. Let them believe they got a deal on a finance, whatever, thingamabob. It doesn't matter. DTN says, I'm only $14,000 in debt. I'm trying my best to get out of the negative. Financing a house is not a plan for me. No more matrix lifestyle. And DTN, I want you to understand something, okay? By you recognizing that you're in debt, you already know, okay? There's a lot of people walking around in a debt matrix, have not a clue of how much debt they're in, and don't even care. Don't even care. And you're 14,000 and you recognize you're 14,000. There's people that have so much student loan debt, they don't believe they'll ever pay it off. They will be in a debt matrix forever. It's mathematically, if you are a person that has deep student loan debt and you don't think you'll ever pay it off, I'm going to tell you something, a hard fact. You will never, ever be able to truly understand what I'm telling you, because you're in debt. It's mathematically impossible for you to ever feel what I'm trying to translate to you, when I'm trying to express to you. It's mathematically impossible for you. So if you think you'll never pay off your student loan debt, you'll be a slave until you're dead. They can't physically enslave people anymore, so they use invisible chains now. Nothing personal, because you can buy your freedom. Everybody in this room can buy their freedom. Everybody. What's your price? Add up all your savings. Add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals your price. If you ever want to get out the debt matrix, if you ever want to live outside the debt matrix, you must pay the cost. Savings minus debt equals your cost. If you're not willing to pay that, you might as well forget about it. You're going to die in debt. You're going to be a slave until you're dead. Yes, a slave. Don't be fooled by the people on the Facebook that's going on vacations and buying houses and cars. They're slaves that live in nice houses. They're slave lawyers, they're slave doctors, they're slave pharmacists, they're slave physical therapists, they're slaves. Everybody in student loan debt are slaves. Doesn't matter how they look, doesn't matter their title, doesn't matter. None of that matters. They are slaves with invisible chains. And math will clearly show anybody in this room if you're a slave or not. If your savings minus debt equals you're a slave. Okay? Anybody you owe money to, you're a slave to them. DTN says her credit score is, oh my God. Okay, I got to read this out loud. I know some of you guys are listening. DTN says her credit score is in the low 500s. She told me yesterday she's been happy all week thinking she is one step closer to being a homeowner. Oh my God, man, that is hardcore. A woman with 4 children. When you get outside the debt matrix, let me explain something to you guys, okay? It is business. Regardless if she's a 23-year-old, a mother with 4 kids, that doesn't matter. It's business. If she doesn't know that she's in debt and cannot afford a house, whose fault is that? It's her own. It's nobody else's fault. Nobody's. Jaws 2003 at DTN says she may be getting some type of assistance from the government that with that low of income and that many kids. Probably so. That young lady will rely on the government and probably until she's dead. I kept my student loan for 10 years. I went to college for 4 years, but kept my student loan for 10 years. Does that make any financial sense? Does that make any type of financial sense? None whatsoever. And math was a requirement in college. And I passed. I passed math in college, but yet I didn't use math on my finances. Does that make any sense to you? Doesn't make sense to me. I have no idea why I did that. I am too afraid to even add up the interest I paid over 10 freaking years of student loan debt. I remember paying my student loan debt and looking at the balance every now and then and notice the balance wasn't moving. Even that didn't wake me up. I'm paying on my student loan for 5, 6, 7 years. Look at the balance and it doesn't look like it moved. That still didn't even wake me up. I didn't even care. I just put it in the back of my mind like it wasn't there, didn't mean anything, which is the dumbest, stupidest thing ever I've done in my life. 10 years of interest on a school that I went to college for 4 years, but I paid a student loan for 10 years. There are people with paying college loans for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. If you're new to this channel, let me tell you how many fakers are out there that are dressed really nice with student loan debt. How do I know this? $1.6 trillion tells me so. That's 45 million people that you're maybe following, that may be doing your taxes, that may be recommending an investment for you, what you should do with your money while they're having student loans that are older than their children. They are giving you financial advice. That makes absolutely no sense. Anybody that decides to give me financial advice, the first thing I'm asking is to see their personal credit report. That's the first thing. I usually can tell how they talk beforehand, but regardless, I need to see your personal credit report. That's it. LJ, please look up a program called NACA. You know what? I did read that the other day. Last week, but I got to remember. I was kind of reading the details of it and see where the catch is, because they are attracting people in debt with no down payment. You can get a house here. It's too convenient. So I got to reread it. Okay. Greetings, Roflex. Roflex says, are you saying do not purchase a home? No. Only thing I'm saying, Roflex, there's two ways to buy a house. The first one is cash. The second one is only with the best mortgage on the market, period. Whatever the best mortgage is on the market, you Google it first before you go to a bank. Look up the best mortgage and you walk into a bank and say, I want this mortgage. The bank is going to hand you some requirements. If you want that mortgage, the bank is going to say, you need to meet these requirements. You look on that list. If you don't meet the requirements, you're not ready to buy a house. You leave. You don't come back to the bank until you do meet those requirements. That's it. Sean speaking alien language. Sean says, I'm speaking alien language. I sure am. It's not alien to the SMD family. I don't think I'm an alien. Do you guys think you're aliens? I don't think I'm an alien. I just trust mathematics. All Around Strong says, I agree with student loan debt. Oh, yeah. Student loan debt is only second to IRS debt. And the reason why I say second to IRS debt, because IRS debt can put you in prison. Student loan debt can't. Those of you with student loan debt, student loan debt on top of Parent Plus loan debt, ooh, you're in trouble. You are in deep, deep trouble. I see that all the time. I see parents carrying student loan debt that are older than the children, and by the time the children go to college, they take out a Parent Plus loan, stacking that on top of that. They will never get out of debt. They will be slaves until they're dead. Oh, man, when I hear that, oh, man, I took out a Parent Plus loan, I'd be like, ooh, wee. If I didn't have the money to send my kid to college, I would not take out a loan for them. I wouldn't do it. Go in debt, further in debt because I messed up with my money beforehand. Those are feelings. You better leave your feelings out of your money, else you're going to die in debt. People don't hear the stories that parents do that, and then the kid goes to school, don't like it, and then they just quit. It's not no big deal to them. They don't owe anything. They don't owe any money. And then they go on and live their lives, and then the parent goes and say, hey, what's up with that money that you're supposed to pay? Oh, I got this and that. I got that bill. I can't worry about that student loan debt. You better not do that. That'll totally ruin your relationship. Totally. All Around Strong says, DTN, have you tried to talk with talk with the young woman about her personal choice, her financial choices. He might not better do that all around strong. People in debt don't want to hear that. They want to hear that they got that house, period. Join the server Hyphy created. He got the link up there. And Hyphy, I want to let you know, man, I appreciate everything you do for the channel. I appreciate your advice. Thank you very much. I really, honestly appreciate that. Okay. Let me throw this up here. Here's my Cash App. I don't have a super chat, but here's my Cash App. If you decide to donate, please put a note in there and tell me what I've done for you, how I've changed your life or whatever, right? Just put that in there and I'll give you a shout out on the live stream. I'll look at my phone, and here is my PayPal. All the donations are appreciated. And for a free 30-minute consultation, is scrolling down there at the bottom, okay? Let me get back here. They just pop in here. Okay. Jose says, I'm $10K in debt right now. I have a 2005 vehicle sedan paid off. I'm thinking on financing a used SUV 13,000. Jose? Jose, have you been listening to what I've been saying just now? Okay, that's why I stopped in the middle, towards the end of the sentence, sort of at the end of your statement. You have a paid off car and you thinking about going to finance a car. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Do not step from outside the debt matrix into the debt matrix. Don't do that. Okay. NC Briggs says NACA is a program that helps you buy a house, helps you buy houses, but I want you to look at it because they talk about buying interest rate. I saw the interest rate was ridiculous. Nobody's buying a house for you for free. Nobody's doing that. I wouldn't, just by what you're describing, helps buy a house. I wouldn't do it. Not saying that they're bad or anything. I know they're aimed, that NACA, just by the little bit I've read and what you're telling me, are aimed at people that are in debt. People that refuse to accept that they cannot afford a house. You want to know if you can afford a house? Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a house. If that's in the negative, you cannot afford a house. You're in the negative. It's that simple. You don't need no fancy bankrate.com. You don't need none of that. You just do it. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have for a house. That's it. DTN says, Jaw 2003. She said if she can't pay it, she will file bankruptcy. She had done it on a car before. I don't judge, but it's her life. What I know now, I wish she knew the lies and the debt matrix. Yeah, if she's doing all that, DTN, and you can't help a person like that. Don't say anything. Don't put her down. Don't make her feel bad. It's because she's choosing to be there. So because if she knew, always think about it this way, DTN, Ulysses. If they're choosing to do it, they don't know they're choosing to do it. It's a choice. You got to let them choose it. She can get out of it if she chooses to. If she just chooses to believe mathematics, she'll be free. Don't judge anybody. Just remember, if she knew what she was doing, she wouldn't do it. If she knew how far that's going to dig her under the ground in debt, she wouldn't do it. Jobs 2003 says, this is what I've always wondered about people who keep their income low, government assistance. What happens to them in their senior years with their Social Security or any other retirement? They don't have much saved. They don't have anything saved. I know people actually do that. People actually on purpose keep their income low so they can rely on the government. What they don't understand is that the government wants them to do that. The government wants them to rely on it. Now, when I say the government is not some separate entity. The government is us. We are the government. So understand this. If they live their whole lives keeping their income low while being on the government, they're going to be on the government in their senior years. We are going to take care of them. There is no separate entity. Who works at the government? Our mom, dad, family, cousin, brother, sister, they all work there. When they come home from their government jobs, do you get on them and say, "Hey, man, what'd you do to us today?" I mean, that doesn't even make any sense. Would you ever say that to your family member that came home from working for the government? Would you be mad at them or what they did to you? No, it doesn't make any sense. DTN says, at some point, we got to stop starting behind the 8 ball. Yeah. How do you do that? Use mathematics on your finances. That's it. And you'll be free. Trust math and you'll be free. The only difference between the wealthy and the not wealthy, the wealthy trust mathematics, the not wealthy don't. People in the debt matrix don't even trust math, don't even care to look at it. Outside the debt matrix, we go by math 100%. Jennifer says, LJ, you finance for 15 years. What it says, LJ, will you finance for 15 years when you're ready? I believe that Dave Ramsey as well. Yes, I will. Plus, mainly because, 15 years is the only way I would do it. And I'm going to do it because I'm 50, right? But even if I was 20, I would still get a 15-year fixed, okay? Because you got to remember, when you're in your 20s, if you finance a house right now, 15 years fixed, and you pay that house off, you will never have another mortgage in your life. Especially if you're debt free, you will never have another mortgage in your life, because when you're ready to move, you just sell that house and then you buy another house. And when you don't have any debt, you'll have so much money stacked, you'll be able to upgrade with cashola. Okay. If you're 20 and you're listening to this, if you finance your house for 15-year fix and you pay it off by the time you're 30, you will never have another mortgage in your life. Okay, Darkman Jeff says, I went to a NACA workshop 2 years ago. They talked a good game, but there's all kinds of red tape and paperwork to get through before you finally sign the mortgage papers. Oh yeah, I can just tell by the program. I can just tell what right off the bat. Anything, hey, we can help you buy a house right off the bat. I already know. Right up. We can help you buy a house. You can? Really? Even if I don't have any money? They'll say, yeah, even if you don't have any money. Got you. Because only people in the debt matrix would listen to such a thing. They're only focused on people who are in debt. Cosmic Wisdom says, good stuff, listening while busting out paperwork. Thank you, Cosmic Wisdom. By the way, she's gonna be on the show tomorrow morning, you guys. I'm gonna put it up. Tomorrow morning, Cosmic Wisdom's gonna be on the show. Thank you, Cosmic Wisdom. Appreciate it. Dark Man Jeff says, my mom co-signed a loan for my cousin to go to HBCU in the 90s. They've been around that long? Okay. I don't think my cousin helped pay it back yet. And I think by defaulting, she messed up my mom's credit. Oh, yes, she did. Yes. Dark Man, your mom still owes for that student loan. If she took out a student loan for your cousin, she still owes that student loan from the 90s. Dark Man, I say like this, man. If you want your mom to be free, if she don't believe, if she still has it since the 90s, she's not going to pay it off. Make enough money, man. Maybe one day, when you become a millionaire, you stay debt free, you could pay that off for your mom so she can know what it's like to be financially free. But if she never pays that student loan off, she'll never be free, ever. There is nothing like financial freedom. Nothing compares to it, you guys. Nothing. One day I'm gonna write my story out, because most of you guys don't understand this. I put in everything in this business. Everything. I've sacrificed everything. There is no going back for me. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be successful in this business. I know it's going to be successful because I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong because I believe in mathematics. That's not even bragging. There is no going back. I'm going to tell you guys this. The thought of going back to a 40-hour work week, it gives me chill bumps up the back of my neck. To get up every morning and deal with traffic, and then deal with traffic on the way home every single day for the next 20, 30, 40 years. You know how long it will take to become a millionaire, having a regular job and living in debt at the same time? That's mathematically impossible. You can't do that. And you guys have, once you get out of the debt matrix, you have no idea how dangerous it is to be in this world and be broke. You have no idea. You have no idea. Once I got out of debt matrix, I can clearly see how vulnerable I was over the years. When one little mess up could break me, one injury, one something that can snap your whole finances. And I was living like that for the first 40 years of my life. And didn't even know it, just lollygagging. Here I'm making six figures, but I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. Even that didn't wake me up. Didn't even wake me up. Nope, didn't wake me up. Sharif says, I tried to explain SMD to a friend. I had to use third grade math if you have two apples. Oh, I tried to explain SMD to a friend. I had to use third grade math if you have two apples, blah, blah, blah. Right? But listen to this, Sharif. When you say it's this simple, people in debt believe you're insulting them because they believe it's not that simple. And if you're saying it's that simple, they believe you're insulting them. This would happen. This is why I don't talk about what I do with my friends. I don't talk about this. I don't talk about this with my friends because they believe I'm insulting them. And remember, not even my friends and family, they don't believe it. These are people that know I love them, and I can prove every word I'm saying with mathematics, and they still become insulted. That's why we don't talk about what I do. I don't discuss it. Darkman says, at this point, I don't let anyone use my credit. You better not ever let anybody use your credit, even your own children. I wouldn't do that. If I knew what I knew today, I would have raised my boys totally different than what I did. I didn't know. When I was raising my three sons, I was deep in debt. Then I thought debt was normal. I thought everybody had car payments. I thought everybody had this, that, and that, and all this debt. If I knew what I knew today, they would have been raised with the debt-free mindset from day one. Jose said, my boy, you're not sure what that means, John C. Cosmic Wisdom says, I never co-sign. If you need a co-signer, then the banks know you can't afford it. Exactly, Cosmic Wisdom. And you know what's so funny, Cosmic Wisdom? Some people will ask another person, can you co-sign for me? And the person will say yes, knowing that they got turned down by the bank. The bank, by them being turned down the bank, the person being asked to co-sign should know that this person can't afford whatever they're trying to get. But people just bypass that and say, hey, I love you. You're my son, daughter, this and that. And then they interject their feelings, and that's where they mess up. So now the bank says, great, you're co-signing for him. So when this person loses and cannot afford this, we're coming after you. Jose says, yo, I'm here listening. Great. Cool. Sharif says, I tried to explain SMD family to a friend, and I had to use third grade math. If you have two apples and you give three apples to Tom, how many apples do you have? I like that. Let me reread that for you guys if you guys are listening. Sharif says, I tried to explain SMD to a friend, and I had to use third grade math. If you have two apples and you give three apples to Tom, how many apples do you have? And I guarantee you, hey, Sharif, did that person look puzzled? What was their response when you said that? I'm curious. Oh, okay. Let me check. Okay. Just sent donation to Cash App. 1 second here. All right. Here we go. Thank you, Ulysses. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for shout out from the Cash App. Thank you for your donation, sir. Very, very much appreciated. James, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you very much. Shout out to James. Thank you, sir. Trying to look at all these. Ulysses. Thank you both. I appreciate it. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. Those of you that don't know my Cash App here, let me put it up there one more time. There's my Cash App. for the donations. And here is my PayPal. Okay, there you go. DTN says, excuse the typo. I'm at work. Try to listen to a master teacher, Linnell Young. Thank you. Thank you. Ulysses DTN has been riding with me for quite a while now. I've been on this podcast show. We got to keep them podcasts up, sir. Quentin Sanders says, I have a little over 4 years before I'm debt free. Trying to pay off this mortgage seemed painfully slow. There's a lot of distractions. I keep reminding myself it's worth it compared to the alternative. It is. Quentin, always remember this. If you pay off your mortgage, you will be the only, I guarantee you this, you will be the only true homeowner on your block. Let everybody else call themselves homeowners, whatever. Let them do whatever they want to do. You will be the only true homeowner on your block. That alone should inspire you even more. You got to think, why is that? Why would I be the only true homeowner on the block? Because the rest of them live in the debt matrix. Doesn't matter what they feel, how they feel with mortgages. When you have a mortgage, a person only feels like they're a homeowner. Okay, that's a feeling. Feelings. Math says this. I don't care how they feel. Well, why are they saying that? They're not. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. That's how math speaks. Shaw 2003 says, I just saw the homes me and my ex wanted to get 4 years later, and they are 100K or more under what they, oh, wow, 100K or more under what they was asking for. Some are in foreclosure. These homes are 4 years old or less. See what I'm saying? People get 30-year mortgages and they're going into foreclosure and after 4 years. They know that. Look, think about it this way. Look at all these housing complexes. They're buying a lot and packing in 50 houses in there. And each one of those people believe they're homeowners. In that little, if you are wealthy, if you are rich, would you ever live in one of those neighborhoods where you can reach into your neighbor's house and grab some toilet paper? They are so close. And the only thing that's separating a house is a thin fence. And then if you look at aerial, if you do an aerial above one of those housing complexes, they will look no different than an apartment complex. They would look no different than an apartment complex because they are pretty much, they're just separate apartments. That's why they pay HOAs, home association dues. Homeowners association, HOAs. That's why they're paying that, because they really are one. They're just separate condos, big condos. That's it. Nothing more than that. Dark Man says, LJ, when you started on your debt-free journey, did you give yourself a time frame to keep you focused? Nope. I didn't give myself a time frame. I just knew, Dark Man, once I started, let's put it this way. Once I started, there's a snowball effect, like Dave Ramsey said. There's a snowball effect. Once that starts rolling, you really not even on a timetable. You just ready to pay off the next debt, and the next debt, and then you start to see. Your vision starts to be clear because you start to see what is the last debt. Well, you already know what the last debt is because you make a list, you make an Excel spreadsheet, right? You make that spreadsheet and then you know which one's the last debt. And then when you start crossing off the things on the on the spreadsheet and you're getting closer to that last one, you know after you pay that last one, you're going to be free. You don't really care about the date. You just go, oh crap, I'm about to be free. That's it. This is why my clients right now, I have some successful clients that make some money. They make money. Okay. I always tell them, even though they make money, they come to me for some reason. Okay. They come to me to say, they're like, these are financially smart, money making business people, but they come to me because they know there's a piece missing. That's what draws them to me. And then I point out these pieces. I say, hey man, you just got a little sprinkles of bad stuff here, and I can seal it all up. Once you seal it out, you're going to take off. You're going to quadruple your income. You're going to know how to weave through all the people that are faking. You're going to know How do you know? You're going to ask to see their personal credit report. Anybody you do financial business with, you're going to ask to see their personal credit report first. I don't care how they feel about it. I don't care if it's funny sounding, because have you noticed it's not, people don't, when I say like this, hey man, ask to see their personal credit report, people get uncomfortable. They start laughing. Ooh, how are they going to feel about it? But yeah, when people go fill out credit apps, that's part of the requirements. People don't even think twice about it. They just fill it out, sign it out, and send it off. You have to do that personally. Hyphy says at NC Briggs, being debt-free means you have to have less to lose financially, meaning you are more likely to resign, less likely to resign, more likely to resign, less likely to work overtime, and less likely to focus on company growth. Yes, that's true. That is true. That is true. And when you become debt free, this is how I want you guys to understand. This is how this channel became to light. When I first I first became debt free, and I figured out it was math, right? I was so excited, like I found a new religion. And then I would tell my friends and family about what I discovered, and then they didn't hear me. Then I was like, hey, okay, let's sit down. Let me just show you the math. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear what I had to say. And that's what intrigued me. I was like, wait a minute. I'm showing you that you can become free by just using mathematics, but yet you don't want to hear me? Nope. And I was like, these people love me. They know I'm not trying to get over on them and do something negative to them. And they still didn't believe me. That's when I knew I was on to something. That's when I knew I had found something. Oh shit, that jumped. I'm sorry. Let me get let me see. Oh, this thing, I'm sorry, you guys. This thing jumped. Okay. I have a little 4 years. I'm debt free trying to pay. Okay. Quentin says, I think I already read that. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of distractions. Yep. Cosmic Wisdom says, I'm right here with you, Quentin. At Quentin Sanders, we got to keep focus on the goal and why it's important. That's what you got to do. Sean says, get those likes up. And C. Briggs says, I've been thinking, LJ, wouldn't telling people you're debt free make you a target at jobs with seriously or with jealousy? No, because this is this is what I say. When you're financially free, you will only work at a place that you enjoy. You don't work at places that you hate. You only work at places you hate because you're in debt. If you weren't in debt, you wouldn't work there. You would just quit. You would just say, I'm not working here. These conditions are bad. You're talking to me evil and mean or whatever, right? You would just leave. And as far as an employer, if you had an employee that was simply there because they loved it there, that would be the best employee to have. An employee that's there because they want to be there, that means they're going to do a good job. Hyphy says, if you co-sign, you fail to see the inability of unwillingness to repay back loans that the bank seen. Exactly. I would never co-sign for a person ever. Not even my own children. I would never do that. Never. I would help them figure out why they need a co-signer, not co-sign for them. Darkman says, LJ, when you started on your debt-free journey, did you give it? Oh, okay. We already did that. This thing keeps jumping around. Okay. Cosmic Wisdom says, exactly, Hyphy. I actually did better at work to do low debt pressures. Yeah. The pressure, there is no pressure at work anymore. It's like, let me explain this to you. Once you get out of debt and you have a job, you're not going to let your job get work out of you for free. Because there's a ton of people that work off the clock. They answer emails at home. I've even heard people on Facebook say things like, "Oh, it's my day off, but I'm doing work." Then it's not your day off, because you're doing work for absolute. If you're at home and you're doing work at home on your day off, you're working for absolutely free. And the reason why you're working absolutely for free, because you're in debt, because only slaves work for free. Only slaves work for free. So if you're working, if you're answering emails, phone calls, and you're not on the clock, you are a slave. You are working for free, absolutely free, giving away the most precious thing on earth, the time in your life. You can't get more time. You can't borrow none from your friend. You can't do anything. You're giving away the time in your life for absolutely free. I would never do that. I did that for years. I would never do that. I was a cloud engineer. I was part of the tier 3 team. Okay. That's the highest level where you go to for major mess ups or major problems, right? I was salary, but I was on what's called an on-call rotation. On-call, where you're on call for a week, 24 hours a day, every few months, right? That was part of the job. Okay, cool. I signed up for that. That's cool, But I was always getting calls outside of the on-call rotation. What is the purpose of an on-call rotation if they're still going to call you when you're not on call? That makes no sense. That's just a formality. I would never allow that ever again, ever. I would have, for those of you young IT people that are getting in the game, and don't get mystified by the company paying your phone bill, okay? They're not doing that to be your friend or be nice or be something to pay something. It's business. Get 2 phones. You let the job pay for that phone. If you're on call, you carry the phone with you. If you're not on call, you leave that phone in your desk at work. There is no reason for you to carry it. If they're not paying you, what are you answering it for? What are you responding to any emails? I would never, ever, ever combine my phone with a job's phone again. I would say, hey, if they said, hey, we'll pay for your phone bill, nope, I'll get a separate phone. I'll install the email app, all that stuff. Here's the phone number you guys can call me on. There you go, blah, blah, blah. I would never combine it anymore. Because when I'm not on call, if I got back in the job market and it was an on-call rotation, I would have 2 phones. Here's the phone that you guys are going to pay for. You want to pay for my phone bill? Here you go. This one's for you guys. Cosmic Wisdom says, you actually don't have the burden of paying bills and can really focus on work. Yes. Cosmic Wisdom is exactly right. That kind of stuff is not on your mind. You're not worried about the rent or the electric bill or the gas bill. You're not worried about any of that. None of that's on your mind. You're there to focus on work. And then when 5 o'clock hits, 4 o'clock, whatever time you're off, you close down shops. 4 o'clock, boom, clock. You're not looking at the clock and say, ooh, I got 2-3 hours left. You're not doing any of that because you're not working at a place you don't want to be. That never happens. That'll never happen again, ever. Jaws 2003 says, in my opinion, I personally don't like to live that close to people, okay, being from a rural area, because people look at me funny from urban areas when I say that. Yeah, because they believe it's normal. I don't want to be stacked on nobody. When I get a house, it's not going to be in a neighborhood like that. It's not going to be like that. I'm not paying a mortgage and then HOAs on top of that. Then I have a committee that tells me what I can and cannot do with my house. No way. I'm never doing that, ever, ever. Fresh Prince CEO, what's going on, man? Hello. Man, this has been a good one, you guys. Any questions? If you're new to the SMD family, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I just got these t-shirts. If you want one of these t-shirts, just go to my website, SavingsMinusDebt.com, scrolling at the bottom there, and just click on products and then pay for it, and I'll get a message, and then I'll send it out to you. Okay. Actually, after this one, I got to go and mail one right now, actually. So I got to get that one prepared. But anyway, that's how you do it. Free consultation, scrolling there at the bottom. Click on book consultation, and we'll set up a free 30-minute consultation. Okay. Pop your SMD collar, LJ. No collar here, just a shirt, just a shirt. Thank you, Fresh Prince. Just go to the website under products, pick your size, click pay, and then that'll be it. It'll be on its way. Any other questions, you guys? Any other questions? Any questions today? If you're new to the family, ask away. Okay? Ask away any kind of question, any personal finance questions. If you guys come across some videos and you want me to do a review on that video, let me know. Email me the link. Okay? SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com. Email me the link and I'll do it. I'll look it over and see, make sure it's relevant to the channel and people are going to learn from it and go from there. Hyphy says, I'm still tripping off that the guy said cheap money. Where can you get cheap money from? I know. You got to remember, Hyphy, again, they're talking to people in the debt matrix. That's it. They're not talking to us. They're not talking to the people outside the debt matrix. That cheap money, that makes absolutely no sense to me. What do you mean cheap money? What are you talking about? Now, if it was strictly business, because don't get me wrong, on the business side of things, I believe in getting loans for business. Okay, I do. There's different reasons on the business side. There's a whole bunch of tax reasons over here. There's personally never. Business wise, there's a whole bunch of reasons over here to get loans, I promise you. Okay. But you must be financially free personally to understand even how this works. Because if you financially free here and if you treat your personal finances like a business, you're going to carry those same habits over to the business side. Okay. I promise you, it's a natural process. You'll go over on the business side and you start trying to find some partners and do some people to do business with you. And guess what? You ask to see their personal credit reports first. I don't care if it's a weird question. Too bad for them. What do you mean? Nobody, because usually when you ask somebody to see their personal credit report, they want to tell you their credit score. And then I want you to stop them and say, hey, no, I'm not talking about your credit score. I want to see your entire credit report. I want to see if you're in debt. I want to see if you respect your own money. If you don't respect your own money, you sure ain't going to respect my money or the business's money. I'm not going to do business with you. I don't take financial advice from people with student loans that are older than their children. Why would I do that? That makes no sense. Take financial advice from somebody in IRS debt. Who knows if you got a personal tax person? Do you know if the person that's doing your taxes, do you know if they're in IRS trouble or not? You probably never bothered to ask. They have you so focused on how much money they're going to get back for you. That's all you're focused on. The majority of people in debt, oh, how much am I going to get back from the IRS? And then they don't really think about who's doing my taxes, because people that are kind of shady, that are doing things that that having you claim things that don't exist. And they don't exist. They're just saying, hey, if you just do this, you'll get more money. And you're like, okay. And then you do it. Never cheat on your taxes, ever. Don't ever do that, ever. Never cheat on your taxes, ever. Once you take the time to understand the purpose of taxes, you will understand it. You'll say, oh, that's why I never do it, because there's no reason to do it. There's absolutely no reason to cheat on your taxes when you can legally not pay taxes. Yes, you can legally not pay taxes. That doesn't make sense to people in the debt matrix. That doesn't. But when you get outside the debt matrix, you go, oh, crap. Yeah. There is such thing as guaranteed ROI. There is. And what is that? It's taxes. Taxes is guaranteed ROI. Nothing else, the stock market, all that, none of them can guaranteed ROI, guarantee you ROI, but you can in taxes. That's guaranteed. Ricky says, nope, I trust y'all. Thank you, Ricky. Great show, says Quentin. Thank you, sir. Sharif says, I had to break it down more when I was talking to my friend. Sharif, when you see that kind of stuff, I want you to, when you try to explain something so simple to a person, first of all, they can't hear you, okay? That's why they don't understand you. You're basically the Charlie Brown teacher voice when you speak to somebody in the debt matrix. They don't understand you. They can't hear you. I know people that come to me, they laugh when I say that, but it's true. They can't hear you. It's hidden in plain sight and they can't even see it. NC Briggs says, I've been looking at cars, but when you're getting a used car, How would you buy one? Because I'm not sure how much I should spend. And is 2,500 too much, or should I go less? Don't worry about the money. Look, save up about $3,000, right? And then just go look in the paper. Look on, not paper. Look on the car ads. Always buy personally. Don't step on a car lot. You call it, look for the car you want, call up and ask that person why they're selling that car. If they give you some kind of sad debt story, that's the person you want to go to because they're in financial trouble and they need the money. And if you have the cash, you're going to get the car for less than what they're asking for. I guarantee it. Just listen to their story. You can tell the people that are just selling to be selling it or selling it because they have to. You can get almost with 2,500. You could probably get a $5,000, $4,000 car for 2,500 because it counts on the person in the debt matrix. How bad is the situation they are in? The reason why they have to sell that car. And if you have cash and they don't have to worry about somebody else coming, they got to get their bank approved, get some finances for the car, and you have it right there in your face. That's what they're going to do. I promise you. NC Briggs says, like the video, support the channel. Thank you, NC Briggs. Appreciate it. Ivy said, once again, please join the Savings Minus Debt Discord server. Join that. It's wonderful, man. NC Briggs is making this place lovely, man. I'm so glad I got somebody here that understands this stuff. He's teaching me a lot. I'm like, what is a Discord server? I'm still learning it, but it's cool, man. We can interact with SMD family members along the way. So please join that server, man. You guys can ask questions up in there. And it's not just me answering the question. Other SMD family members are in there. It's just not random people coming in here telling you stuff. You're going to get a quality answer back, a mathematical answer back, okay? Brian says, rich white people understand that. One guy explained it to me when I was on vacation. Now, I want you to understand this, Brian. Take color out of it. Color has nothing to do with it. Maybe more white people trust math than black people. That could be true. That's true. Maybe more white people trust math than black people. But once you come up to a higher level where I'm at a higher level of financial thinking. Color, race, the Chinese have more money. Chinese are smarter. Indians have this. That's all distractions. It's debt is the colorblind slave master. It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care about your religion. It doesn't care what part of the country you live in. It doesn't care about your family line. All those are distractions. Don't be fooled by any of that. Debt is the colorblind slave master. All it sees is green. If you take yourself up one notch by believing in mathematics, you'll be above all that nonsense. That's all nonsense. Don't fall for that. Don't play into that game. Don't think it's more white people this, black people that. We're stuck here. No, anybody can do this. All you got to do is trust mathematics. You trust math, you'll get out of debt. You'll be free for the rest of your life. Okay. Brian says Auto Tempest has good listing. Okay. Auto Tempest. Good listing. I've never heard of Auto Tempest. Listing. Get an OBD reader. Okay, get an OBD reader and get for a test drive. Stick to Hondas, Toyotas. They last longer. They sure do, for sure. Cosmic Wisdom says, as I say, white or black, green wins in the end. Exactly. You're exactly right, Cosmic Wisdom. Color doesn't matter. Those SMD family, I'm a next level conscious financial advisor. Do not be distracted by that stuff. Politics, Democrat, Republican, black, white, Chinese. Those are all distractions, okay? All there is green. Trust mathematics. That's it. Brian says they created this system. They pass along the information to their kids. Black people need to catch up when it comes to understanding money. Yes, they do. This is generational. I hope you guys understand what I'm teaching here on this channel. This is generational. Once you become debt free, there will be no other way you're going to think. You're going to think about jobs differently. You're going to think about the economy. You're going to really understand that there are two economies. There's two. One, they're both hidden in plain sight, but the majority only see one. I promise you, you're never going back. You're never going back. You're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I worked all that overtime. I can't believe I worked on the weekends. I can't believe how many games I missed with my children over the years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You did that by being in debt, by having car payments and credit card payments. You miss all that. Sharif says, L, what you would have told? Oh, okay. What would have you told your sons now that you see things different? I talk to my sons right now, Sharif. They can't hear me. They don't hear me. And I'm their dad and they don't hear me because the conditioning is that strong. You got to remember, I raised them in the debt matrix. So here I am at 50 saying, hey, whoa, wait, I told you guys all wrong. Don't do it that way. They're going to be like, what are you talking about, Dad? You told us to do this. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I was wrong. That's how strong the conditioning is. It doesn't matter. Don't even, like I said earlier, don't even get mixed up with race, color. It doesn't even matter if they're your family. None of that matters. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. This is something, once you become debt free, you are going to naturally instill this in your kids. And even that it doesn't necessarily guarantee your kids are going to raise up taking your values of debt and being in a debt matrix. They might fall. That's not guaranteed either. None of it's guaranteed, but they would have a better chance. I promise you. Quentin says, color have nothing to do with math. Nothing. Math will always be math. Debt will always be debt. Exactly, Quentin. Color has nothing to do with math. Math doesn't care about any of that because all it sees is green. It's the colorblind slave master. Man, woman, midget, gay, straight, Jewish, black, white. Math don't care about any of that. Doesn't even know any of that exists. All it sees is green. Jaws 2003 says, my best friend and his wife thinks like this. When the government had the last big shutdown, they were okay, and he's the only one working. He said, Jaws 2003 says, my best friend and his wife thinks like this. When the government had the last big shutdown, they were okay, and he's the only one working. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Jaws 2003. What does that mean? Because you got to remember this too. And that last shutdown, this is how I look at the government shutdown, okay? When you're outside the debt matrix, I cannot help to think that you're going to think totally different. You won't be able to help it. Okay. Listen to this. I believe the shutdown is a test. It's like a broadcast TV test. You know, when remember years ago, they used to go, boop, 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 boop. You know, those things that came across the TV. I believe the shutdown is a test. What it does, it tests to see how much control they have over the people in debt, because it's all a choice. I mean, then shutdown didn't mean anything to me, but the shutdown is to show them how tight their grasp is over the people in debt. So you got to remember, it's shut down for like a month. So all those TSA agents were working for absolutely free for a month. For free? I would never work for anybody for free. Only people in debt, slaves, work for free, and they did it. Wouldn't that show you how much power you had over a person or a group of people if they would work for free and work for free until they decide whatever they're going to decide? I would never do that. If I worked for TSA when the shutdown happened and they told me, hey, you're going to come to work for a month, but you're going to be working for free, I would say, no, I'm not. I quit. I'm not working for free. I'll sit at home on my butt watching TV for a month before I work for free. Get up, get dressed, be expected to have your uniform look in a certain way. Make sure you check all the packages as trained, and you're going to do it for free, slave. No, it wouldn't. No. And then people were getting on the news talking about, oh man, I had a month without pay. I can't pay my rent. 1 month? 1 month, and you're on the news talking about you can't pay your mortgage. You've been working at a place for 30, 20, 30, 40 years, but 1 month will break you. You are in debt. Hyphy says, I have a Costco membership. Hopefully they start selling cheap money in bulk. About a pallet board, hyphy. I walk into Costco. Hey, where you guys keep the cheap money? Is that in the back of the store, or is that through the TVs, or where you guys keep it at? Okay. Have you noticed, like Costco, they make you weave through the TVs? You guys probably haven't noticed that, but think of cattle. You know how they run cattle in through these lanes so before they go get slaughtered, right? You come into a Costco, they make that first entryway so tight. You come in, the TVs are naturally, as soon as you walk in, you see all the electronics, right? And then they got some other stuff stacked up against the wall. And then it's like this. And then they know people walking to Costco really, really slow. So now you got to wait behind some person that's deciding to talk, fix their baby, check their phone. Somebody's always blocking. There's several ways. And then people turn their cart sideways and start chit-chatting. They know it's going to be a jam up in that area. That's why they do that. That's why they make it so tight. Like cattle. Cosmic Wisdom says, I was back home visiting DC when the shutdown happened. A weird vibe for sure in that area. The scary part is people were freaking out over that month, told me a lot about their financial foundation. And they don't even know, Cosmic Wisdom, they don't even know they're saying that they don't even know they're telling the world about their financial situation, because the majority are in the same situation. So they believe they are normal. They don't understand that they're in a debt matrix. People actually got on the news and said they couldn't pay their mortgage after a month. They couldn't feed their kids. They couldn't pay their light bill 1 month. That is a test. That is a test to test the strength of what they're doing. And it works. It was obvious. It all came out. All the fakers were squeezed out 1 month. Like, think of an orange that you're squeezing orange juice out. That's what they do. They squeeze it and see who all falls out. Those are all the fakers, because you got to remember, us outside the debt matrix, we're out here. We're not that orange. The orange are the people in debt. Cosmic Wisdom says, I was so happy to get out of there. Yep, it's depressing. Jaws 2003 says, I agree, Linnell, same with those food stamps as a test. I was talking about them being debt free. They have cars that are paid off. Wait, okay, let me see. Same with the food stamps as a test. I was talking about them being debt free. They have cars that are paid off and only had a mortgage. Oh, gotcha. Okay, your best friend. Okay, I'm going back and rereading what you said at first. Okay, gotcha. Sharif says, what's the difference between a business loan and a personal loan? If you take out a business loan, you still have to use your personal credit rate. You know what? I don't think that's necessary. Cosmic Wisdom, can you answer that question? I want to make sure you get a quality answer, Sharif. Okay. Cosmic Wisdom, this question is more for you. What's the difference between a business loan? I mean, I know the difference between a business loan and a personal loan, but maybe you can better explain it. If you take out a business loan, don't you still have to use your personal credit? So somebody answer. Cosmic Wisdom, can you answer that question for him? Mark says, LOL, Crosco crazy. I almost hit people going through because I know what I'm there to buy, in and out. Exactly. Me too. I'm the same way, Mark. I'm in and out, but they make it so tight. They rustle all their cattle through that first little funnel right there, and they make it really tight. So it's kind of wide because of the door, and then they get tighter and tighter because they bring the TVs out, and then they come around with that curve that cuts off the check stands, and then they line it with products, and then you got to get through that little way, and there's always people just congregating and stopping and talking. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Let's see here. Quentin says, what's your opinion on hourly pay and salary? I really don't have any opinion. It really doesn't make a difference. It doesn't. It doesn't make a difference. Sorry, I was reading my phone. Okay. Okay, let me see. Cosmic Wisdom says that, Sharif, yeah, you still have to use your personal credit as a personal guarantee, aka called PG for business loans. But the difference of the loan depends on the type and term. Okay, cool. 80% of business credit worthiness is tied to your personal credit for sure. Okay. And Hyphy says that Sharif, for business loan approval, usually a projected growth plan that shows the ability to repay the loan in a set amount in the set time is required by the bank. Okay, these are wonderful answers. Wonderful answers. Any other questions? We're going on 2 hours, 20 minutes. Let me put you guys free 30-minute consultation scrolling on the bottom. Please click on the consult button when you get there. I will create a plan for you and set you free, debt-free. My plan will be a plan for you to pay for yourself to get out of debt. There's no quick fixes. I don't want you to think I'm a credit fixer. I don't want you to think I'm like that. Don't come to me if you think I'm a fix your credit, because the process I help you get out of debt, it will naturally fix your credit, but the correct way, not the quick way. Okay. The correct way and not the quick way. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions, you guys? Any other questions? Okay, we're going to wrap this up here if there are no more questions. Thank you, Cosmic Wisdom, and thank you, Hyphy, for answering that question, because I'm not there yet. I'll get there, but I'm not there yet. Right now, the only person I'm investing in right now is me. Okay? Growing this business, helping people succeed and get out of debt and be free for the rest of their lives. Okay. Any other questions? Hyphy says, signs of a SMD family member. They have Costco memberships due to the cheaper gas prices. Yes, they do. I go there for my gas. That's the only place I go, Hyphy, to get my gasoline. I go to Costco. And being down south, you guys have no idea. Down south, the gas prices are so much cheaper than in Seattle and the West Coast. Oh my God, these guys, man, they sit around $2. Man, that is lovely here. That is so lovely. $2. Oh my God. Nicer says, another dope live stream. Thank you. Thank you, Nicer. Have a marvelous day, SMD family. Thank you, Nicer. You too. Hyphy says, I wanted to get more info from the guy in the chat an hour ago that said he was going to finance a vehicle, but I guess he left the chat. Oh, yeah, he sure did. He said he was going to finance a $13,000 SUV. He had a paid off car, and I was like, did you just hear a word I said? Never finance a car, ever. Don't ever do that. All right, you guys, we're going to wrap this up. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for joining the stream. I might come in later on this evening, maybe tonight, and do just the audio like I normally do on the weekends. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, okay? Thank you for all participating. SMD family, Hyphy, thank you for all your help. Nicer, you too. Cosmic Wisdom, thank you everyone that joined. Quentin, thank you everybody, okay? Sharif, everybody. You guys have a wonderful day.